My favorite numbered Kingdom Hearts game is the first one, Kingdom Hearts 1. I absolutely love everything about that game. I love the story, I love the introduction to the characters and the world and the lore. I love the atmosphere, I love the music. I love how dark the tone of the game overall is. I love that feeling of innocence. It's a perfect introduction to Sora as the main character of the whole series, and you really see into his heart in that first game.
Kingdom Hearts 1 was a vibe. It had this wholesome energy that games that came out around that time just didn't have. And even 20 years later, people who are new to the Kingdom Hearts series, they feel that energy.
What I like about the first game is it's the one that draws you in. It starts off light and friendly and funny, and it really just has a special place in my heart because it's made me love the Kingdom Hearts series.
I think it really captured that sense of Disney magic that the other two games do have, but I think it really does have this sense of wonder and of you fighting against the Disney villains and overcoming them. They've got that circle of villains that plays at the beginning of the game. You see all the villains around the table, Jafar, Ursula, Maleficent, and you just feel like, oh, we are in for an adventure.
I think my favorite thing about Kingdom Hearts 1 has gotta be just the feeling that it gives me. Like, maybe that's kind of weird, maybe that's kind of strange, but I feel like it's just so magical. And, not to say the other Kingdom Hearts games aren't magical, because they are, but Kingdom Hearts 1 just hits different. It's simple and clean, if you will.
I still love the game so much. It was one of the first PS2 games I ever played. It was the first PS2 game I ever owned. And it's kind of one of my integral childhood games growing up.
I love Kingdom Hearts 1 because it's so nostalgic, and I remember adoring that game when I was a child. Playing it for the first time, being amazed that I could go to different Disney worlds and help different Disney characters out with their quests and adventures.
I really like how it has that whole Disney magic. It's something that is very present in the first game. That combined with like the little details of the world, how you can interact with different things.
Kingdom Hearts 1 specifically, I feel like has that childlike wonder to it, and I really love that about Kingdom Hearts 1. I think it still holds up today.
It's very special, it's very nostalgic. It's the game that started it all.
It's hard to pick a favorite character, but I would say I really like Ventus. I really like those characters who really seem to give up a lot and sacrifice a lot for their friends.
He's literally just so adorable. His personality is too sweet, and I just want to hold him and protect him as much as I can. He's like a cinnamon roll. Gotta keep him safe.
And I think my favorite line comes from Ventus when he's like, oh yeah, I got these tickets, lifetime passes to Disney Town. And he says to take 2 grown-ups. I love that line so much, it's just so cute.
I think my favorite thing about Vanitas is just how unapologetically, mean he is.
Vanitas is my favorite villain, I think, in the entire series. And I think it's because he truly is just, a pure villain to be a villain, he's pure darkness. And he's such a cool character to watch. Watching him interact with our different heroes and heroines throughout the game, and watching the reactions and the emotions that he elicits from them is such a powerful thing.
You can tell, when Haley Joel gets to voice Vanitas, he's just having the time of his life. Just putting on this voice, you can tell that
he's in the studio and he's had a couple of drinks.
Right? Yeah. You can tell he's really ready to.
He's bringing out the darkness.
Sora is great, and Sora's a role model for so many people. But it must be exhausting to play a character who's that positive all the time. So when you let him do the opposite side of that coin, I think he's just like, yes, and really goes for it. And I really appreciate that about Vanitas and that character and what Haley Joel does with him.
In Kingdom Hearts 3, they're kind of having these moments at the end where a lot of the villains are getting not really redeemed, but they're having their moment of like, maybe I should have done something different, or like, they're kind of explaining why they did some things. And you kind of feel sad for them. And then you get to Vanitas, and you're just kind of like, yeah, this is who I am. I don't regret anything. I am darkness. And I respect that. I respect that.
I really like Terra as a character. And I know not everyone does, but one of the things that I like, he's not perfect, He made a lot of mistakes, and he tries to fix them. But I think what's important to remember is he was very heavily manipulated. He was taken advantage of in a point in his life where he was very vulnerable, Like, his big goal in life was to become a Keyblade master. And right when he can see it, right when he's about to get it, he finds out, no, you're not ready. And that's, obviously crushing. And then to have a different master walk up to you and be like, oh, you're already a master to me, of course you would gravitate towards that. Of course you would want to trust him. I think what I like about Terra is even though he made mistakes and he messed up, he did what he said he was going to do. And I think that's something I really like that came out of Kingdom Hearts 3. He kept his promise to set things right. And I love that he was able to do that.
My favorite character in Kingdom Hearts has to be Roxas. I think Roxas has a really tragic story. Roxas gets created and is basically brought into the organization immediately. But even though he is basically used as a pawn by the organization, he has to deal with a lot of painful experiences. But he's still so positive and upbeat and outgoing and really just wants to hang out with his friends.
I really like Roxas and his combat and gameplay, but poor Roxas, he didn't ask for this, and he's over here questioning who he really is. Imagine being able to live the life of another, but it turns out you're someone else. You're not who you think you are. That's something that you need to take in, and sometimes it'll be very hard.
Is there a more iconic line in Kingdom Hearts 2 than "looks like my summer vacation is over"?
My favorite character is definitely Roxas. My favorite quote of his is, "I think I understand. I see myself the way you remember me, and you see yourself the way I remember you." I don't know why, but it hit me so hard that I think that I might have cried the first time I heard him say that.
Who else will I have ice cream with? A lot of the Roxas quotes are about him wanting to take care of and be with his friends. That's why I like Roxas so much.
I really like Xion because I'm able to identify with her and wanting to belong somewhere, and also not wanting people to forget about her as well.
I love Xion and her fight for her own identity. That's a very relatable thing, especially a lot of people today, especially for like minorities and groups of people who don't have proper representation. I feel like they can relate a lot to Xion and how she has to constantly fight to be her own person, especially when everyone around her tells her otherwise.
I feel like Roxas and Xion have very similar arcs throughout 358 over 2 days, where they're really trying to find themselves. They're trying to figure out, why am I even here? Why do I exist? Who am I? And honestly, I think we've all been there before, at least a lot of us have been, where, you're trying to find like your life purpose, or you're just like, who am I?
Oh my goodness, her story in that game is the most incredibly sad thing I've ever experienced. I lost it over Xion. You're rooting for her the whole time. You understand what has to happen by the end. And it's so hard to do, even though you know you have to do it. And I think a lot of people can relate with Xion because she is told time and time again she doesn't belong, that she's not even supposed to exist. And she grows to believe that because she keeps being told that. And I think so many people can relate with that, and it really resonates with them because so many people feel like at some point in their life that they don't belong, that there's something wrong with them. I know I have, and seeing that in Xion was just something so special to me.
Marluxia, he is one of the coolest aesthetics, completely for design. I love the whole thing with flowers and the scythe. It's like beauty and death, and of course you gotta love the hair.
My favorite Kingdom Hearts game is Kingdom Hearts 2. So I actually played the games out of order. My first Kingdom Hearts game was Chain of Memories, and even without the context of Kingdom Hearts 1, 2 was really the big game for me that really had me dive in to the characters and the story, just the whole series.
There's gotta be 2 Final Mix, baby. You know, it's my favorite video game of all time. With Kingdom Hearts 2, they really focused more on the combat. You know, I mean, the worlds are nothing to write home about, but it's just, it first and foremost, it's an action game, and it excels very well, and it's very fun, and there's just an insane level of depth to it.
I would say Kingdom Hearts 2 for sure, because it was my first numbered Kingdom Hearts game where I borrowed it from my friend and spent my summer vacation playing it through it with my brother.
Kingdom Hearts 2 blasted open with an emotional prologue. I love the worlds, the music, the atmosphere. The gameplay overall is amazing.
It was the first Kingdom Hearts game that I played. Got it from the bargain bin at Walmart. But I really do love it. I think the gameplay is so much fun. I really love the story in Kingdom Hearts. It's probably my favorite Kingdom Hearts story.
I think it has really fun battles and cool combat to go with that. And that's really when the story got deep and kind of everything went all over the place. Like, that's the pivotal moment for me where things started to branch out and become convoluted, and I love that about Kingdom Hearts 2.
I'll be honest, my heart immediately went to Kingdom Hearts 2. I would say that because it was really the introduction of Kingdom Hearts to me, as I remember more of it than I did 1. It holds a lot of nostalgic value, as well as it was the one I became more eager to play over time every time that I had opened it. I have such a soft spot for it because it was also where Roxas was introduced as a character, and he's kind of my favorite.
That's the Kingdom Hearts game that just roped me in to the series. You know, like I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and I loved it. Played Chain of Memories. It was too difficult for me as a kid. I never beat it. And then just experiencing the story in Kingdom Hearts 2 with just like Roxas and it really just roped me in. You know, like I can say that I'm all in for Kingdom Hearts because of Kingdom Hearts 2.
I really like Kingdom Hearts 2 because of its story. The combat is great, and you could do a lot of combos with the combat, which I really like.
Kingdom Hearts 1 was like the prototype, and it's really good. And I have a lot of nostalgia for it, being a person who played it, you know, in my teenage years. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is like, yo, this is what this prototype can be, right? There are shortcomings with any game, but the way the combat is designed, they took everything they did in Kingdom Hearts 1 and just like upped it and just brought it to this new standard.
I really liked Xehanort when he was evil and merciless. I really liked how he was just evil, just to be evil. I think Birth by Sleep is probably still one of my favorite stories, just because we lose technically in the end. Like, that's really good, you know. I like it. I like the way they tackled it. It was awesome. It was the feeling the futility of it all, you know. I mean, you beat the final boss, but then it's like, did you really? No, not really.
Xehanort travels back in time to meet his younger self. Young Xehanort. I was young Xehanort when I started playing these games. I look like old Xehanort now that it's 20 years later. It's just one of those things that makes you reflect on really just how much time has passed and how these games have evolved and how much bigger this universe is than we thought it could be when the first Kingdom Hearts came out. It's wild.
I have so many favourite characters, it's always hard to choose, but I'm going to say my favourite character from this list is Aqua. I admire Aqua's strength, her determination to always help her friends out. She really goes through it, especially when we see her in 0.2 in the Realm of Darkness, and I just think she's a queen.
My favorite character is probably Aqua, because I think it's kind of cool to finally have, with her and Terra to an extent, have more adult characters compared to the main trio of Sora, Riku, and Kairi. It just kind of spoke to a great sacrifice and a great tragedy that the characters went through, but it was meaningful and really resonated with me.
My god, man, Tetsuya Nomura he tortured this woman, basically. And seeing her go through all this struggle and then become the victor of her own story, I love it.
For Aqua, I love that she's sweet, determined, compassionate. She values friendship over anything. She would do anything to save her friends, to help her friends, even if it comes at a great cost. Aqua's been through the worst of the worst. She's sacrificed so much, and even at her weakest, her lowest, she found that hope again within Sora and the unbreakable bond between her friends.
I just love it when Spellweaver comes out. She's so fun to fight with, and I think one of my favourite quotes from her is actually "farewell," because it just sounds really graceful, and she's also defeating Heartless or Vanitas or whoever at the same time. So I'm going to say Aqua.
Definitely favorite Kingdom Hearts character is Naminé. I just think she is the sweetest little thing, but such a tragic thing as well, such a sad thing. She really just wanted friends. She was so lonely and she didn't really know anything else. She wanted to be friends with Sora, Riku, and Kairi more than anything in the world, and she just wanted to latch onto some sort of bond. And she really works to protect Sora and fix what she did because she feels sorry. And I just think her whole story, especially in Chain of Memories, is just really moving. She's a character that I used to relate to a lot. I still do a little bit. And I just always grew very fond and was always very attached to her. She just has the power to connect so many people, and I think her powers are very underutilized and also really underestimated, and she makes a mark on Sora in her own unique way, and she gets a genuine bond with him. My favorite Naminé quote is when she says to Roxas, "I wanted to meet you at least once." I think that's just such a simple statement that says so much. It says so much about her character, how she was so lonely for so long, and I just think that's such a sweet, simple line. And I feel like for a lot of us, especially with the pandemic and being far away from each other, all through the internet, but still being connected through this amazing series, I feel like that's a statement we can all relate to.
My favorite character, though, is probably Ansem Secret Darkness, because I just remember as a teenage boy playing through Kingdom Hearts 1, and you get to him, and he's just so, out of nowhere and cool, and the way Billy Zane, and then later on Richard Epcar deliver those lines, all the, darkness is the heart's true essence, and he's shakes like that. Just there's something about Ansem Secret Darkness that is just too cool.
my favorite character is Riku, of course. My favorite line from Riku is "I walk the road to dawn" from Chain of Memories. The meaning behind this line and what leads up to it, where Riku is really fighting against the darkness that he fell into to find the way to the light, and feeling like he has to really, like, you can only be on the side of light and you can only be on the side of darkness. There's no in between, but there actually is the road to dawn. There's great strength in finding the balance between your light and your darkness, and that is the road to dawn.
Riku is one of my favorite characters in any fiction of all time. His growth from Kingdom Hearts 1 to the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 is just amazing. It's amazing. It's incredible to watch him grow from what he starts out as to what he becomes.
Let's be real. I'm not as cool as Riku, not even close, but I can relate to Riku a lot. You know, he's a guy he's seen a lot of darkness. He's been through a lot of stuff. What Riku goes through makes him stronger. You know, he goes through the fire and he doesn't get burned. He actually comes out more refined in the long run. And in Dream Drop Distance, he's, you know, it kind of just comes full circle in the sense of, he says, I know the way. Consume the darkness, return it to light. And I'm like, dang. I want to be like that. I want to be like that guy.
I am an avid old school Disney fan. I grew up watching many of the classic animated films, and I have always loved Mickey. I suspect that many newcomers to the Kingdom Hearts series saw Donald Duck and Goofy early on and wondered when Mickey Mouse would show up. And I really love that Mickey's whereabouts are kind of a mystery during the events of Kingdom Hearts 1 and even some of Kingdom Hearts 2. Ever since Walt Disney and iWorks created him back in 1928, Mickey's been portrayed as a kind, fun-loving, easygoing guy. But in Kingdom Hearts, we see kind of an alternate version of this iconic character that's sometimes a bit serious and has to navigate some tough conversations. Now, you still get to see some classic Mickey behavior, you know, when he's impulsive or gets into a bit of mischief, like in Timeless River, and especially during the events of Birth by Sleep. He skips out of Jensen's training, steals a star shard, goes bouncing around the world trying to help. He's always been a do what you can with what you got kind of guy. Honestly, without Mickey, we wouldn't have the Walt Disney Animation Studio and all of its creative work, and without that, we likely wouldn't have anything like Kingdom Hearts at all. I think that the Disney characters and worlds are what provide that feeling of magic and nostalgia to Kingdom Hearts. And seeing Mickey included as a part of that just brings me so much joy.
The Kingdom Hearts 3 experience was unlike any other. I remember staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning, refreshing Trigger, hoping that next new trailer would drop on nights in Japan where D23 were happening. Everyone else did it, the hype was real.
Honestly, after the Remind DLC, without a shadow of a doubt, Kingdom Hearts 3 all the way. First of all, the graphics is just to this very day. I mean, you can't describe it. When you're on top of a mountain, when you're in the big luscious fields, when you're battling your foes or watching the cinematic cutscenes, they push the PS4 to the limit.
They really outdid themselves. Everything just looked beautiful, felt beautiful. I really liked the worlds. The combat was amazing. Oh my goodness. I feel like they gave us so much, you know, between shot locks and the Keyblade forms and the summons, like all of it was crazy and so cool.
It was really wonderful to get this game after we waited so long for this game to come out, and I was really impressed with the upgrades and I loved having all the characters together for the first time. The Wayfinder trio, the Sea Salt trio, you know, really ending the Xehanort saga, and I had such a wild ride with the whole story, the addition of Remind. I cried. I have so much fun playing Kingdom Hearts 3 that I could honestly play it again and again and again.
Well, I can only imagine how Kingdom Hearts 4 will look like on the PS5. So besides the graphics, it's just the combat. The combat is so satisfying. The base Kingdom Hearts 3 combat was meh, but after the Remind DLC, they cranked it all the way to 11. Everything is eye candy and razzle dazzle and gets the adrenaline pumping. And the fact that you can lock onto your enemy, zip over to them, and do massive damage, it is so freaking satisfying.
Kingdom Hearts 3, I adore the combat. I love the combat in Kingdom Hearts 3. And the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 is maybe one of the most satisfying endings in any gameplay experience I've ever had.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is the epic conclusion of what started 20 years ago, and it left us with huge twists that further brought in a new saga for us. From themes of growing up, to facing tragedy, making decisions, to friendship, heroism, and hope. This game truly captured what made me fall in love with the franchise from the start and then some, and it's everything to me that you can want in a Kingdom Hearts game.
My favorite thing about Kingdom Hearts 3 has got to be the worlds. I feel like they're just so well done in comparison to literally every other game in this series. They feel so much more open, they feel so much more alive. I think that's the best thing about it, is that, you know, there's NPCs, there's not an empty coliseum.
Sheesh, Kingdom Hearts 3 has quite literally like the best moments in the entire series. The best moments, the best payoffs. It's a very satisfying game.
Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind is my favorite video game experience of all time. Osaka Team really brought their A game for the Limit Cut and the Secret Episode with their design philosophies. I believe they can build on that for the future.
My favorite character in all of Kingdom Hearts is Axel. From the moment I saw him, he was special, where you see him in Chain of Memories, and he's talking to Sora, and he comes off as like this really cool, really edgy, an intriguing character, really.
I love his personality, how sly, how cool, laid back he is, and how threatening he is also. Like, I am cool and laid back, I'll be your friend, but I will mess you up. And he has the best catchphrase in all of Kingdom Hearts. Got it. Memorized?
I love him because a lot of the times, though, he breaks the fourth wall, and no one else would be able to pull that off like him. Very good character for that.
One character I would love to learn more about is Axel. I feel like there's still a lot of layers to that character that we haven't even begun to see. And he's always been he always has that veneer of cool and confidence, and then you see it break away a fair amount, but I would love to see his psychology kind of dived into a bit more, especially after everything he's been through in the series.
I love Axel, man. Like, Axel has this one line, "Go on, you just keep running, but I'll always be there to bring you back."
That part actually rips my heart open. But honestly, one of the ones that I like to apply to like everyday life that I think about and that I like to quote is when he says, "If you have a dream, don't wait, act." Because I feel like that's so important to remember, and I think it's so important to encourage people to like go after their dreams, and that like if you have a dream, like you're the one who has to make it happen, you know?
Saïx, I think, is another one of my favorites. Saïx has this sort of older brother relationship with Axel, which I don't think we've gotten to see a ton of, but we see a little bit of it in Birth by Sleep. You know, he always wanted to take care of Axel and make sure that he was looking out for him, even if he and Axel disagreed with what the organization was doing, or at least it seems so.
Syax has had quite the roller coaster throughout the series. The interesting thing about him is there's so much more potential for him as a character, because now that he's recompleted as a human, him and Axel can go find Subject X. And his remix in the Limit Cut of 13th Dilemma is my favorite boss theme in the whole series. Banger.
My favorite character in the Kingdom Hearts series has gotta be Xigbar. He is just so mysterious, and there's always been something about him, even back in Kingdom Hearts 2. He's not letting on that he knows as much as he does. And, Axel's kind of mysterious in a similar way as well, but I feel like Xigbar, there's just that other layer of who even is this man?
I love that he went from just being this weird, almost kind of kooky dude, where
almost like an uncle.
You see him in Land of Dragons and stuff, and then all of the interstitial scenes that they have where it's him talking to Zexion or whatever. You definitely get that he's up to something. And then they do that again in KH20 when he's talking to Luxord in the Remind DLCs,
right?
Cutscenes. So he's just so dope. And the secret ending for KH3, it just gotta be Xigbar.
For me, I always thought that Xigbar had some sort of hidden agenda from the get-go, and he definitely has one of the best quotes in the series, as if, and I love his sneakiness, and I like seeing him in multiple games, like Birth by Sleep. It was really fun to see him as Break, and obviously with the whole reveal as Lushu, I was screaming in my bedroom when that first happened, and there was a part of me that was surprised but also not so surprised, because I just thought he was definitely up to something from day one anyway, and I'm just really excited actually to see where his character goes.
I love Xigbar just because not only does he have this chaotic nature about him, but he's one of the greatest characters in the series. Let's be real. He's been on top. He always comes out on top. You can't not love Xigbar. He's just a clever little sneak,
Donald and Goofy are the boys, man. They're the ultimate partners. All you could ask for in two teammates, man. Donald and Goofy, they're where it's at.
Well, and it's not like they don't have any character development either. They actually get character development even as Disney characters who are there the whole time.
Yeah, characters that have been around for hundreds of years, they still get character development, which is really cool.
What I like about Goofy is, to me, he plays the role as the glue that keeps the half pints together. I personally think that Goofy has been the biggest brother to both Sora and Donald, and defines the definition of what it's like to be a team and demonstrates amazing teamwork.
Donald definitely gets a bad rap in the Kingdom Hearts community, partially because people think that Donald just does not heal Sora at all, which is not true. You can change his settings in the menu in most Kingdom Hearts games to prioritize healing a lot better. I like Donald as a character. He's definitely impetuous and very quick to flare his temper, but Goofy's kind of there to keep him in check. And while it took him a little while to get there, he is very loyal to his friends.
I mean, the way Goofy pushes King Mickey out of the way and sacrifices himself and takes that lump on the head, dude. You can't ask for better wingmen. You can't. Donald literally has wings.
Donald is also OP, so OP that he can cast Zeta Flare. Are you kidding me?
True. Bahamut who? Donald Duck. That's where it's at.
The destroyer of worlds, dude.
Gorge? Well, come on, fellas. We gotta protect the world order. Right? World order.
I'm
always excited to talk about Kairi. I have loved Kairi since I played Kingdom Hearts 1 in 2002. As a young girl, I think I just immediately gravitated towards this other young girl who was, seemed to be about my age. She has a lot of spunk, she has a lot of sass, but also can be very serious. And the thing I love the most about her is that she is so loyal and supportive of her friends. For example, she, you can see she's devastated that she can't remember Sora in Kingdom Hearts 2 when she's desperately trying to remember his name, but she hugs him as a Heartless in Kingdom Hearts 1. When she's the only person who can recognize Riku at first for Riku at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 while he looks like Ansem, she recognizes Riku before anyone else. And just the way that she fights so hard for Naminé to have her own life in Kingdom Hearts 3 and wants to learn to fight so that she can help everyone. I love her so much. I'm so excited for her future in the series, and I just think it's only up from here. I just love her.
For Sora, I just love how cheerful, optimistic, brave, and just how heroic he is. He truly has the strongest heart. He's very loyal and expresses great empathy towards those who he connects his heart with. All he cares about is his friends and doing what he can to save them and protect them. Sora is truly what I would consider a true hero and someone I look up to.
Sora is just so innocent, connecting everyone, and is absolutely great. I hope that he has more character development in the future.
My friends, they are my power!
He's the heart of the series, absolutely. I mean, he must have the biggest heart that anyone's ever seen. So many people are inside that heart. But he's just an incredible character. Every step of the way, he gets knocked down time and time again. He never gives up. His friends are truly everything to him. He would do anything for his friends, and he makes friends immediately. He's trusting to a fault, and he will do anything for you if he considers you his friend. And I think he's the kindest heart, the best role model that a kid could have in a series. And I grew up with him as a role model. Even now, even now as an adult, 20 years later, I still view him that way, as such a role model for me.
Kingdom Hearts to me, I think, is really important because it's one of those games that has every character, whether they're male or female, showing emotions and crying and really being open and emotionally vulnerable and forming friendships. I think it's really powerful to see, especially men in games crying and showing their emotions. I think that's really important and a key feature of Kingdom Hearts that I think sets it apart from other games, especially in the genre.
The emotional storytelling, the emotional journeys all these characters go on is so lovingly done, and there's a lot of care put into it, and it's clear that Nomura and anyone else who writes on the games really cares about these characters, and I really do think that shines through in every entry in the series.
A game that produces so many feelings, and I'll never get over it. I can replay it over and over and it'll still have that same emotional impact on me.
It will always be my #1 favorite series. I am very, very emotionally invested in so many things about Kingdom Hearts, but definitely the characters and the story will always be one of my favorite things that I've experienced.
It is what got me into gaming to start with. It's what took gaming from being just something kind of like fun to do on the side to being like, oh, these stories are real, these games are full of emotion, and you can really get a lot out of a video game.
I'm a big Disney fan, I'm a big gamer, so they combine both of my favorite things.
I feel like I found a home with the communities I found through this series alone. Like, it's crazy to think about it.
Kingdom Hearts to me is about friendships. It's about the connections that you make with other people.
It's really shown how Sora is able to connect all these hearts and people and worlds and just forge this bond between all these different things.
The Kingdom Hearts series means pretty much everything to me. It was the game series that helped me escape and cope during a tough time in my life. It was also the series that got me into streaming and helped me pop my bubble and connect with all of the Kingdom Hearts fans all over the world.
It was my go-to game when I was, going through hard times, or just when I want to immerse myself in an adventure.
It just really inspired me to want to be that light in the darkness for some people out there. I want to be like Sora, man. I want to be that person.
I'm definitely someone who does believe in the power of friendship, and I'm also a big believer that there is a light that never goes out.
It's a moral compass for a lot of people. The way Sora is a constant role model for people and constantly does the right thing and tries to help everybody he can.
Really guided me through life, shaped me. A lot of my morals, including loyalty, honesty, staying true to what's right. The themes of light and darkness have connected with me through my life.
Memories, the feelings, the lessons. Joining the community brought purpose to my life that wasn't there before. Kingdom Hearts will always be a part of my life. And hopefully in another 20 years, we'll be celebrating Kingdom Hearts.
Happy 20th anniversary, 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 Kingdom Hearts.
May your heart be guided.